Someone please tell me, what is this white voice that black people like to put on at work, at school, whenever they're in a white dominant environment? Why do black people put on a white voice for white people and then a black voice for their own kind? Like, why is there this indifferential treatment? From Tyrone, you better get your fried chicken licking butt in here before I provide a whipping on your behind, to good afternoon. I'm just gonna say this straight off the bat, and I know I'm gonna get a lot of hate for saying this. Black people are some of the most insecure fellas I've ever had to deal with. It's a shame I'm saying this because these are my people, but I'm genuinely embarrassed. Just in case you think I'm bluffing or on some episode of my own. Check this out. Just look at this 35-year-old transracial white man. You would think after the history that colored people have had to endure, and all those years of living through racism and oppression would have knocked some common sense, just some common sense into this brother's head. I'll leave you to be the judge of what he says.
Excuse me, what IPA do you have on tap? Hey, did you see Game of Thrones last night?
Are you mad?
I'm a 35-year-old white man.
And we're gonna stop it right there. Your skin is dark as charcoal. You are literally burning of melanin. I can smell it from here. In what reality do you think he could ever pull off being a white man? I can't tell if this is a joke or not, but he looks so serious at the same time. Fix that head, brother. Boy, you darker than me and I don't even pull this nonsense. Even if you straightened out those dreads and bleached your skin, you're not fooling anybody. On the subject of straightened hair, someone please tell me why black women have such a fascination with wearing the wig, the weave, and hair that is ultimately not their own. I'm a real brother and I can tell it's not your hair. The birds can tell it's not your hair. That's why they mistake it for their home. You just developed a complex insecurity from your own afro features. You'll just end up looking like a witch because first of all it's dead hair, second of all, I can tell it's not yours. Your hair looks faker than artificial turf. When you look in the mirror, you probably run away from the scarecrow that you created. Can you even look at yourself in the mirror? You're not pulling guys like me, and I don't see none of those white boys sacrificing their blondes for you. So if I were you, I'd run straight back to that store and I'd get my money back. Cha-ching. I'm gonna give you a pure psychological lesson on the way that white people approach this situation and try to take advantage of the insecurity that black people propose. White people think that in order to control the racial population of African Americans, or even blacks in general, involves us selling out to them the following: our skin color, our culture, and our identity, to the point where we don't even know ourselves or feel comfortable being who we truly are. You can continue being the white man's puppet because that's all you ever are to him. He's dangling you with strings. Can't you see it in your fake hair? You are wasting your valuable time and your beautiful culture. And the unfortunate truth is he has brainwashed you into a deceptive path to the point where you don't even believe in your own kind. Not to mention you don't even support your own kind. These people are the type to believe in a white Jesus, a white Santa Claus, a white God, a white wife or husband to the point where they hate their own kind. And I'm gonna stop there because I already know I made one of these babies cry. Poor insecure black people. Nobody feels sorry for you. Let me break down one of those examples, specifically the Jesus example in philosophy, and hopefully instill just a tiny bit of confidence into your own kind. Last thing I want to see is a black person in the KKK. Oh wait. If you look at the evidence, as biology suggests, Jesus was a Nazarene in a hot climate. According to the Holy Bible, he fasted in the desert for 40 days and 40 nights. If you put a white person in the sun for just 2 minutes, he's coming close to the point of losing his life to sunburn. Itching, red, and just begging for snow. That religious evidence alone shows you that you need to use your common sense in order to evaluate situations like this into concluding that Jesus was in fact closer to being black than he was being white. But black people have allowed the system to brainwash them into believing the white Hollywood dream, full of white superheroes and white models. So much so that we aspire to be like them. We care too much about the opinions of other people that we lose track of our own identity. When we're at work, we try our best to please our white bosses. When we're driving our whips, which means car if you're too white to understand what I'm talking about, we're trying to please who? White people. Have we not learned from Michael Jackson's identity crisis and unfortunate tragedy that black people, especially black celebrities, have a problem with being black? And this is because the white man has fooled them into thinking that they can't accomplish anything unless they're white. So he brainwashes them and deceives them into thinking that he can become like them, integrate into their schools, into their neighborhoods. And I don't mean to disrespect Michael Jackson in any way. He's a legend, but he is truly somebody who we should have learned from. These people are so scared of their own skin and their own names that they go by celebrity nicknames and newly adopted white names, as opposed to the God-given name that our homeland has blessed them with. The low self-esteem and insecurity of my people is a big problem. And white people are smart. They pick up on our psychological nature to the point where they feel like mission has been accomplished. We now hate ourselves, hate our own skin, and hate our own kind. The white people are the oppressors. I'm sorry if you're white and you're watching this, but the truth is in the history as it repeats itself. Now what white people are doing is they're taking our culture and making it their own, seeing that the majority of black people are too insecure to rock it. Hoodies, fashion, Jordan sneakers, hip-hop, you name it. It has all been compromised by the white man because black people are too busy focusing on how they can put on a white image in order to please this man who deep down inside wants to be just like you. I've never met a racial group of individuals who for the majority have a deep passion and craving to be accepted by white people. Remember when Will Smith slapped Chris Rock on stage for disrespecting his wife? Well, let me ask you something. Do you think if that was a white man instead of Chris Rock talking smack, that Will Smith would have put his hands on him? The answer to that question is a simple no. He would be too afraid of the backlash from the majority. But Will Smith can expose Chris Rock because Chris Rock comes from a minority group. People from that minority group, being African Americans, are too insecure to stand up for him. You can basically say that Will Smith is taking advantage of Chris Rock. For as long as you come from a dark-skinned mother and a dark-skinned father, we can read beyond the cracks, and you're not fooling anyone. Speaking of cracks, you know black don't crack. Why would you hate on your own personal identity that God has given you to embrace? It's actually insane and it blows my mind. I think some black people get the impression that white people will accept them if they put on these new cultural standards. But I'm here to tell you that as long as history repeats itself, you will never be white. They're brainwashing you into forgetting your own identity so that you can accept their way of cultural living as your standard. Have you not seen the movie Get Out? Like literally, get out. I don't have a problem with this. All I'm saying is, don't identify as black. Real brothers and sisters don't want you anywhere near them. That's pretty much everything I had to say in this video. I think I got most of my points across. Not meaning to offend anybody, I just want to lay the truth down for what it truly is. And some people, for goodness sake, do need a reality check. Ultimately, I believe we should all just get along, but history seems to believe otherwise. Screw history, let's make a new start here. Black people, start accepting yourself for goodness sake. I'm so tired of speaking common sense. I'm going back to being stupid.